Hello there, I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Welcome to Verdict 2015, our half-an-hour election special broadcast where we get you all the news and updates from poll-bound Bihar and also analysis from our team of experts. Let us begin Verdict 2015 with this morning's headlines. CEC puts RJD chief Lalu Yadav on notice for alleged casteist remark during polls. Lalu had said the fight in the state is between backward and forward castes. Chief Election Commissioner holds several meetings with key officials of the state. Naseem Zaidi checks preparations before elections, assures free and fair. After Ramvilas Paswan's son-in-law, Jitan Manjhi's son-in-law rebels against him, files nomination as independent candidate. And in the spotlight today, Maoist menace big challenge for conducting polls in several parts of Bihar as parties find it difficult to canvass for votes. Well, Congress President Sonia Gandhi and Vice President Rahul Gandhi will address a series of rallies in the state next month ahead of the crucial 5-phase assembly elections. Now, Sonia and Rahul are scheduled to address 9 and 4 rallies respectively, while Sonia is slated to address the rallies on 3rd and 17th of October. Rahul Gandhi will be holding public meetings on 7th, 26th and 30th of October. Now, Congress also said that both RJD Chief Lalu Prasad and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar are likely to share the days with Sonia and Rahul in one or more of their rallies during the fortnight-long campaign. Now, Rahul is scheduled to address 3 rallies in Bachwara in Begusarai, Barbiga in Shekhpura and Chenari in Sasram on 7th of October. While Sonia had already shared days with Nitish and Rahul, and Lalu, at Swabhiman rally in Patna on 30th of August. Rahul is yet to address any joint rallies with the Bihar leaders. Rahul kicked off his election campaign from Champaran on 19th of September, sharing the days with the Lalu Prasad's son Tejaswi Yadav and JDU General Secretary KC Tyagi. The BJP-led NDA has already decided to launch a campaign blitzkrieg by holding a staggering 500 rallies, with Prime Minister Modi alone addressing 20 to 22 big meetings. Right, my colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from Gaya. Now, Kriti, Rahul Gandhi there and Sonia Gandhi are going to address over a dozen rallies in Bihar, ditto for NDA. What is the latest that you're getting?
Right, Aishwarya. The Grand Alliance is set to intensify its campaign for all its nominees, those who are going to contest Bihar polls. So Sonia Gandhi, of course, is expected to address election rallies on 3rd of October and also on 17th of October. And Rahul Gandhi is also expected to address rallies on 7th, 26th and 30th of October. What we're hearing right now, that RJD Chief Lalu Prasad and Chief Minister Nitish Kumar may also share days with Sonia and Rahul. So Grand Alliance all out to take on the NDA, and what we are hearing right now, that the Grand Alliance would target the NDA for being anti-farmer, for being anti-people and just for hollow promises. So they're going to say, talk about all these, and then they're going to project themselves as pro-farmer party and those who've always stood for the cause of farmers. So that's what we are hearing right now. So come 3rd of October, Sonia Gandhi would kick off her election rally here in Bihar. Over to you, Aishwarya.
Now, Kriti, there was a lot of speculation earlier on whether Lalu Prasad and Nitish Kumar will share days with Rahul Gandhi. That did not happen during the Champaran rally. But this time around, what is that you are getting to know?
Right, Aishwarya, what we're hearing right now, that they may not be together in all the rallies, but of course 1 or 2 rallies, even RJD Chief Lalu Prasad Yadav and also Chief Minister Nitish Kumar may share days with Sonia and Rahul, because right now they have to show the strength and unity. So the massive show of strength will only come when all these leaders come together. So maybe we can see all these honchos together on one stage addressing public rallies and public meetings in Bihar. Aishwarya.
Right, Kriti. Thank you so much for those details there. You keep tracking all those developments. We'll keep coming back to you. Well, in other news, taking cognizance of an alleged casteist remark made by RJD chief Lalu Prasad at an election rally, the Election Commission termed it as a clear-cut violation of the Commission's guidelines. And the Chief Election Commissioner, Naseem Zaidi, said that any casteist remark was a breach of EC guidelines and will be dealt under legal framework. EC also maintained that it would find out the details of the alleged casteist remarks by Prasad and take appropriate action. Remember, the RJD Supremo had yesterday described the crucial assembly polls in Bihar as a direct fight between backward castes and forward castes, and given a call to Yadavs and other backward castes to rally behind the secular alliance to defeat the BJP-led NDA. Right, let's go back to my colleague Kriti Mishra. Kriti, now Lalu's caster slur there triggering a war of words. What is the reaction that from the RJD and other political parties in the state?
Absolutely, Aishwarya. Let's understand it this way. These elections are extremely crucial for the survival of the RJD. And if I talk about Raghopur constituency, that has been a traditional seat of the RJD, which was held by Rabri Devi, former Chief Minister of Bihar. But that was wrested by Satish Rai of the JDU in 2010 assembly elections. Now, of course, to accommodate Tejaswi, the JDU denied ticket to Satish Rai, who switched his loyalties to the BJP. So this contest is going to be a very keenly watched one. So caste definitely seemed to be one weapon for Lalu Prasad Yadav when he gave a clarion call to the members of the Yadav community, the OBCs, the minorities, to rally behind the secular alliance to defeat the BJP. Now, of course, Election Commission has also taken cognizance of his statement, and they've said that they will proceed as per Model Code of Conduct. But this definitely has triggered war of words. So the JDU on one hand has defended RJD chief's statement, saying that he was only trying to alert backward castes against the statement made by RSS chief on reservation policy. Okay. On the other hand, the BJP is going hammer and tongs. And while addressing an election rally at Arwal, Sushil Modi of the BJP said that if BJP comes to power, it's going to construct roads. And if roads are constructed, they would be used both by backward castes and also forward castes. So definitely, let's expect more of sparring here on.
All right, Kriti.
Over to you, Aishwarya.
All right, Kriti, thank you so much for those details there. So Lalu's alleged casteist comment there causing a lot of war of words between all the political parties. Well, a season of rebellion seems to have hit parties ahead of the Bihar polls after LJP chief Ramvilas Paswan's son-in-law rebelled against him. The son-in-law of Hindustani Awam Morcha chief Jitan Ram Manjhi also went against him and filed nomination as an independent candidate. Now, the HAM chief's son-in-law Devendra Manjhi filed nomination as an independent from Bodh Gaya. BJP has fielded its sitting MLA Shyamdeo Paswan from the seat. Now, Devendra Manjhi said that he had to enter the fray under pressure from the Mahadalit community. But he said that he bore no ill feeling against his father-in-law, former Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi. Now, Jitan Ram Manjhi, who is contesting from two seats, Makhdumpur and Imamganj, both reserved seats, gave a ticket to son Santosh Kumar Suman from Kutumba seat in Aurangabad. And the other big story of the day, Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi held review meetings with the top officials of Bihar to take stock of the situation for the election in the state. He was on a two-day visit to the poll-bound state where he assured all the stakeholders a free and fair election.
Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi has assured political parties in Bihar that all steps would be taken to ensure free and fair polls in the state.
हमारे आयोग का ये अपने ज़िला प्रशासन की मशीनरी को, अपनी ऑफिशियल मशीनरी को ये निर्देश है कि वे आने वाले चुनाव को इंसिडेंट फ्री, जिसमें वायलेंस, इंजरी, डेथ इत्यादि के केसेस हैं, उसको इंसिडेंट फ्री वो लोग रखें.
The Election Commission team led by Zaidi is in the state capital to review poll preparations for the first three phases of assembly elections in the state.
पोलिंग डे से 5 दिन पहले फोटो वोटर स्लिप्स जारी करेंगे और इसकी एक बहुत प्रभावी व्यवस्था बनाई गई है. हर पर्ची का पूरा हिसाब रखा जाएगा और ये एक प्रकार का हमारे वोटर को इनविटेशन होगा और साथ ही उनके लिए ये एक पहचान पत्र भी के तौर पर ये कार्य करेगा.
The Election Commission held discussions with commissioners, inspectors general of police, DMs and SPs of districts going to the polls in the first three phases.
Model Code of Conduct must be implemented in a uniform manner. They have also mentioned to us that in some places model code of conduct is being applied in an unequal manner.
The Chief Election Commissioner also held a review meeting with the Chief Secretary, Home Secretary and Director General of Police of the state.
राजनीतिक पार्टियों ने इलेक्शन कमीशन द्वारा जो अभी तक धन के दुरुपयोग के बारे में एक्शन लिए हैं उसके बारे में उन्होंने संतोष प्रकट किया, लेकिन साथ में ये भी अनुरोध किया है कि जो कार्रवाई अभी तक की गई है उसको और भी तेजी के साथ आगे करने की ज़रूरत है.
Polls in Bihar will take place from 12th of October to 5th of November. The counting of votes will take place on 8th of November and the tenure of the current assembly expires on 29th of November. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And for more on this, Mr. Anirban Guha Roy, who is the assistant editor with the Hindustan Times, is now joining us live. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning. Now, Mr. Roy, Mr. Naseem Zaidi was in Bihar for a 2-day visit. Now, speaking about the remark that Lalu Prasad made, now Election Commission says that any casteist remark is a breach of its guidelines. Now, what action can the EC take?
The EC can, of course, serve a notice to the RJD and the RJD party chief Lalu Prasad for making the casteist remark, which is actually aimed to polarize the voters and woo the voters on the caste lines and divide the voters. And this is a very dangerous trend. And the EC has always been very strict about these things, that you cannot just give certain provocatory remarks which can actually have a bad effect or a negative effect on the voters, and it can create trouble.
Right. Mr. Roy, now...
So the EC can, of course, take cognizance and serve a notice.
Right,
Hello.
right, Mr. Roy. Now, BJP says that Lalu has taken casteism to a new high. Of course, we've seen in Bihar that there is always a polarization of votes on the basis of caste. But do you think that with this remark, Lalu has indeed taken casteism to a new high?
Yeah. You see, the RJD chief is trying to, experiment with his old Mandal card, which he played in the 1990s. And that was the time when he had just come to power in March 1990, and then the Mandal report was published, was laid in the parliament in August. And after that, the caste feelings got aroused, and Lalu had played the role of a champion who actually, stood for the reservations, and that's how he created his own image as a Yadav chieftain who stood for the reservations, and he became a Mandal messiah. 25 years later, when Lalu is a bit of feeling marginalized in state politics, he's trying to come back with the same Mandal 2 card. He says that it's Mandal 2 versus Kamandal 2. When Narendra Modi in India has seen a resurgent BJP, so he wants to play the Mandal 2 card with the Mandal card, the Kamandal card, which he calls it a saffron or Hindutva. So he's playing the 1990s, and how far it will help Lalu has to be seen in the Bihar elections. But of course, he is playing the old caste card to rally his own voters, especially the Yadavs and the EBCs.
It's interesting that you brought up the issue of the 90s Kamandal versus Mandal remark that you're talking about. Now, Union Minister of State Ram Kripal Yadav has reacted on this Lalu's remark. He has said that it is not the Bihar of the 1990s, but the Bihar of 2015. But do you think that Bihar has indeed changed over these years?
There is still a big question mark on it. Ram Kripal is actually playing the BJP card, which is like BJP is trying to portray that there is need for change. They are playing the Parivartan card. They are saying that Bihar needs to go ahead on the development thing, and Narendra Modi's development image. They want to weave it that way, and they just want to ignore the caste thing. Whereas the Lalu Yadav and JDU strongman Nitish Kumar, the chief minister, they are going to their old social justice card. So there is a fight, and the caste is of course relevant in Bihar. Maybe in last 10 years Bihar has witnessed a big development change, but inherent caste politics is still very much alive in Bihar, and elections are fought on the caste lines. And every combination, be it the NDA or the JDU Congress combination, they are working on the caste lines. There is always a focus on caste because the tickets are allotted on the caste basis. And going with the constituency in which caste has got a dominance. Both the NDA as well as the Grand Alliance are doing the same. So caste is, of course, relevant in Bihar.
All right, you're
That's
saying
the
that
pivot.
that you're saying that caste is still a big factor in Bihar. But I'd like to know from you that how is this going to impact Nitish Kumar, because so far he had projected himself he has put a pro-development image of himself. He says that I'm the Vikas Purush. Under these circumstances, when Lalu is really harping on the caste factor, how do you think this is going to impact Nitish Kumar?
Well, that is a big challenge for Nitish Kumar because he has never been a big advocate of caste.
Yes.
He has played it very subtly while he was in the NDA and showed him and projected himself as a person who is committed to development. He did development from 2005 to 2010, and that was his main plank. But yes, after he joined Lalu Yadav in 2014, after the rout in the Lok Sabha elections, there is a big question mark whether he will be able to carry out his development agenda with the caste politics, which his ally RJD chief has been pursuing very vigorously. So I think Nitish Kumar is walking a very tightrope.
Right,
And somehow his commitment towards development has been taken a hit.
Right, a big challenge there for Nitish Kumar. And as they say, the more things change, the more they remain the same. There's a lot of, again, emphasis on caste. Thank you so much, Mr. Roy, for joining us this morning and sharing your perspective on that story. And in Verdict 2015, time to take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to India's World. Every time there is internal political polarization in Nepal, Indian policy becomes the punching bag.
You know, we are used for the last 50 years of dealing only with the power brokers, either here or there.
The relationships have gone to such an extent, it's a point of no return and all that. I don't think so.
Nobody's saying that.
I don't think so.
Watch experts debate protests in Nepal with Bharat Bhushan in India's World on Rajya Sabha Television.
Who should be in power is left to be determined by the people.
I want all minorities to have an honorable place in the Union of India.
Declaration was that zamindari would be abolished, for which fair compensation would be paid.
There is no dispute whatsoever that the executive should be separated from the judiciary.
The protagonists of Hindi, in their enthusiasm, have gone too far. Greatest danger in the future may not be that the center will interfere too much, but that the units may resent the guidance of the center.
The future constitution of India would be a pyramidal structure based on the village panchayats.
I move that the constitution be passed.
Welcome back. You're watching Verdict 2015. Now, as the battle for Bihar heats up, let's listen in to some of the latest political reactions in poll bits.
ये एनडीए के लोग, आरएसएस और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग वो समाज को जात और धर्म के आधार पर बांट रहे हैं, और आज पहली बार नहीं बांट रहे बिहार में, ये जगह जगह पे देख रहे हैं। पिछले लोकसभा का चुनाव उसके लिए साक्षी है।
कांग्रेस पार्टी अगड़ा और पिछड़ा नहीं करती है। कांग्रेस पार्टी को पूरा भरोसा है कि बिहार की जनता, चाहे वो अपर कास्ट हो, चाहे लोअर कास्ट हो, मुसलमान हो, सब कम्युनलिज्म के खिलाफ हमारे साथ खड़े होंगे।
बिहार का नौजवान, गरीब का बेटा किसी वर्ग का बेटा अब बिहार में अमन चैन शांति चाहता है, जंगल राज नहीं चाहता, अपराध नहीं चाहता, लूट खसोट नहीं चाहता, इसलिए अब लालू जी का फार्मूला चला गया।
चुनाव में विकास ही मुद्दा हो तो बेहतर होगा। इस तरह से एक समुदाय को दूसरे समुदाय के खिलाफ खड़ा करके चुनाव जीतने का जो प्रयास वो कर रहे हैं, ये उचित नहीं है। समाज को बांट के कोई भी राज्य आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता है।
दो सूरमा हैं इस देश के अंदर, भाई भाई, ओवैसी भाई और अमित भाई, दोनों की 4 तारीख को एक दिन एक ही साथ एक ही आसपास में सीमांचल में मीटिंग है, जो कम्युनल पोलराइजेशन की नींव रखने के प्रयास से की जा रही है।
Well, in the Bihar Assembly elections, one of the biggest challenges really before the administration is to ensure safety and security of voters in the Maoist-affected areas. It is also proving difficult for the political parties to canvass for votes in these places. We bring you this ground report.
Of the 10 Bihar districts going to polls in the first phase, no less than 4 to 5 are in the grip of Maoists. Lack of development, basic facilities is a stark reality. Maoist attacks during elections complete the picture of the pervasive red terror in these parts. At least 3,500 polling booths are sensitive, guarded by central forces, and on voting day, they will be under helicopter surveillance.
हमारी पुलिस और प्रशासनिक तैयारियां हैं वो बिल्कुल पूरी हैं। इस संदर्भ में चुनाव आयोग ने हमें 100 से ज़्यादा कंपनियां पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस के यहाँ पर उपलब्ध कराया है। उन्होंने यहाँ पर फ्री एंड फेयर और बिल्कुल ही निष्पक्ष रूप में शांतिपूर्वक चुनाव हम करा पाएंगे।
Last year's Lok Sabha elections saw Naxalite violence in Munger's Gangta jungles, Banka and Belhar districts. In the 2010 assembly elections, Maoist mounted cylinder bomb attacks in the Pachhokar Siwan belt. The Maoist presence is most potently felt in areas of the districts of Munger, Banka, Bhagalpur and Lakhisarai. The administration is pursuing a two-pronged objective against the Naxalites to provide security to local residents and to restore their faith in democratic traditions through awareness programs.
जो नक्सल बूथ्स है वहाँ पे उन लोगों को नक्सल बूथ्स आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं और वहाँ पे चुनावी चौपाल भी कर रहे हैं। हम लोगों ने काफ़ी अभी वरीय पदाधिकारी को भी ब्लॉक में भेजकर पर्यवेक्षण कर रहे हैं और इस तरीके के लीकेज को ये करेंगे और उसके ऊपर कड़ी से कड़ी एक्शन लेंगे।
The first phase elections are just over a fortnight away, but in the Maoist affected areas, the colors of campaigning are nowhere to be seen. And in the absence of election promises, the Naxalite menace rings loud and clear. Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the tourism industry in Bodh Gaya is extremely bullish about the forthcoming elections. While the Buddhist tourist inflow is likely to dip, the hotels are likely to witness a surge in reservations because of the arrival of political leaders, professionals, researchers, as well as journalists. Now, tourism experts are also expecting the election tourism trend to hit the state. Now, this trend was, remember, quite 2014 Lok Sabha elections as well.
Bodh Gaya is the most holy place for Buddhists from all over the world. It is revered as the place where Gautam Buddha is said to have obtained enlightenment under what became known as the Bodhi tree. A number of visitors from Buddhist countries, including Thailand, have postponed their visit to Bihar, particularly Bodh Gaya, probably to avoid any kind of election-related hassle on their tour. However, election tourism may tide over losses of religious tourism. Elections catch the attention of various groups from India and abroad as they are keen to observe the polls in the largest democracy of the world.
गांव क्षेत्र का एरिया ये पड़ता है, जो बोध गया विधानसभा जो है गांव में ज़्यादा है, तो लोग आएंगे और इसके बाद कुछ न कुछ तो आएंगे ही। सबसे बड़ा चीज़ आप ही लोग का है, मीडिया का भरमार रहेगा। यहाँ कई लोग आते रहेंगे जब तक इलेक्शन नहीं हो जाता।
Election tourism activities include visits to public rallies, poll campaigns, interaction with different party leaders and election commission officers.
Being here in Bodh Gaya, we're seeing a lot of billboards for people to vote and encouraging women, and everyone is holding up the voting card. That's very different from us in the United States. We don't have that kind of encouragement to just vote.
The assembly elections are being watched keenly by various groups, considering the fact that it is a litmus test for the BJP's leadership and a matter of political survival for Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad Yadav.
Elections in Bihar are extremely colourful. Leaders across political spectrum have descended to Bihar and are addressing public rallies, public meetings and resorting to other forms of canvassing. So naturally, it becomes extremely fascinating for people to see how polls are conducted in one of the most politically crucial states in India. Reporting from Bodh Gaya with camera person Sudhanshu, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's all in this election special bulletin. But do tune in our afternoon edition of Verdict 2015 at 1 p.m. But that's it from the election team at the moment. Thanks for watching.
Hello, I am Ishan Russell.
I'm Tracy Shilchi and you're watching News Tonight.
Together with the team of our
Dedicated professionals from across various fields.
This is Shyam Sundar,
Vishal Dahiya,
Akhilesh Suman,
Frank Pereira from Beijing, China.
Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
We bring to you
the news that matters here on Rajya Sabha TV.
Political slugfest intensifies in Bihar. Regional leaders fight a do-or-die battle. Who wins Bihar and who loses relevance? Watch Verdict 2015